Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, July 15th, 2021. I always have to check the date because I never seem to know the date. Today is July 15th, halfway through the month, and it is a Thursday, so that means it's happy hour. Today, I am drinking Spring 240, the pina colada flavor. I wanted to go for a beer for today. I feel like that would have been really tasty, but the girls want me to drive them somewhere after live stream today, so that wouldn't be a really great idea. Today they want to go down towards, there's a spot over by the Mississippi River. We're very close to the Iowa-Illinois border here, and there's a spot by the river where they can pick up, I want to call them seashells, but there's some sort of shell in a river that they like to collect. So they wanted to go collect some more, so we're going to go do that after the live stream today. So I'm going with a non-alcoholic recovery beverage for today, but it's the Spring 240. So cheers to everyone who's here, and hopefully you're having a good Thursday. It's been a while since I've had this before. It's good. It doesn't taste pina colada-y to me. I get a lot of banana flavor in it. But let's say hi to everyone that's listening in on the podcast version. Hopefully you guys are doing well, having a good run out there, or getting some productive work done while you're listening. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, welcome. Hopefully you're at a point in your day where you can have something a little bit more interesting than the recovery beverage that I have for today. In the chat, we've got Mo Dan here who says hi. Albert Long, good to see you again. He says, yo, glad to make it in for a live stream. And PG says, hi, Kofuzi, how's it going? Things are going well today. Last night was an interesting night. We had some storms come through the area. So we spent a little bit of time in the basement just in case. But it was just for a couple of minutes, so it wasn't too bad. I don't think anyone in this region over here got hit too hard by storms. But, you know, I think that this is the first time that I've had to go spend time in the basement at grandma's house due to weather like this. We had some bad storms last year, but nothing where we were like head to the basement. So that was a little bit last night. That was interesting. And then there was still like kind of like warnings or watches. I'm still never quite sure which one it is, but there was some of those like throughout the night until about midnight. And then I felt, well, I slept on the couch or fell asleep on the couch while my wife kind of watched TV with my in-laws, making sure that we didn't need to go seek shelter again. And then at a certain point, my wife woke me up and was like, all right, you can go upstairs and go to bed. So that was my night last night. Robert Hodges here says, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you again, Robert. And Innes has some good news. Says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. Just one more isolation day after today. That's great news. Hopefully things continue to go well, and then you'll be back outside of the house in no time. Awesome. Kyle Patton says, howdy, folks. Ty Matt is here. All right, my chat thing just jumped down, so I think that's the signal to kind of hurry up and catch up with you guys in the chat. Corey Allen said, do one with a mango bubbly water? Oh, that sounds good. I'm trying to think if I've had a mango. I love mango flavored things, but I don't know if I've had a mango bubbly water. It sounds delicious. All right, Terry Furlong says, evening tea and fresh strawberries from the garden. That sounds delicious. That sounds really good. Yeah, everyone's jealous. Kyle says he's jealous because he loves strawberries. Yeah, for sure. Sun Kim is here. Says, hello, what's going on, everyone? What's going on, Sun? Good to see you again as well. And Leona says, good to see everyone and glad you and your family are okay. I'm like, yeah, I think one of the local area amusement parks took some damage, I think. My sister-in-law was posting some stuff on Facebook. My wife told me. I don't have Facebook, so I didn't see it, but it's big news. You know, the weather is very important in this area, especially bad weather. And so I went to the pool again today, this morning, to do some lap swimming, and all the people that were there, everyone was kind of talking about their crazy neighbors, and they're talking about when there's bad weather that comes through. Everyone there seemed to have a crazy neighbor who, instead of seeking shelter and kind of battening down the hatches, that kind of thing, will instead invite people over, and they'll set up some chairs in their garage, open the door, and then drink bush, as they said it, not me. They said drink bush lights and turn off the lights, open up some bush lights, and watch the storm come in. So people enjoy or are interested in the weather here for a variety of reasons. All right. Yeah, Kyle says Texans are like that. It's all about the weather. Yeah, I mean, I could see why. I mean, it means it's very important. But I mean, I remember it was right around this time last year where that derecho came through, and that storm, we didn't have to go into the basement for that one. I don't remember. No, because I remember I was up here doing a live stream at the time. But for the next like 2 weeks, we could just see all the damage in the corn. A lot of the corn was lost last year because of that wind. So, you know, there's financial implications for sure. And then people might get water in the basement, just lots of stuff. I was also seeing, did any of you guys see this? I saw some footage, I think it was on Twitter, of flash flooding happening, or mudslides. I think that's called flash flood. It was flash flooding. Now, I think mudslide something different. Flash flooding happening in Flagstaff. Anyone else see that footage? I didn't realize it was like, it could get like that up there. So that's kind of crazy. We got someone new for the first time here today. Where did that just go? Freddie the Runner says, hey everyone, first time watching the stream. Well, welcome, Freddie. Glad to have you here. We're just going to be hanging out today, drinking some recovery beverages, or not if you don't want to, and just kind of hanging out. There's no agenda, nothing we're necessarily talking about, but we're just kind of hang out. If you have a running question that you'd like to put in there, feel free to drop it in there anytime. There's no like wrong time for that. And if you want, you can let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd love to get to meet you a little bit more. All right. Stephen Kurzor said Kofuzi said corn. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been talking about the corn very much because, which is surprising, you know, I normally talk about it a lot more. Terry says, when you don't have crazy neighbors, you are the crazy neighbor. I'm pretty sure that, you know, I know that if I lived here, I'd be the crazy neighbor for sure. I like to think that I'm more the weird fella rather than the crazy neighbor, but I'm pretty sure I'd be the crazy neighbor. Mostly because, you know, I feel like over here, there's lots of cultural kind of quirks that I don't understand, and I think it would take me a while to figure out. My mother-in-law is helping me kind of decipher what some of those things are. But like, you know, people talk like once one person starts mowing the lawn, everyone has to mow their lawn, and everyone has like a day that they do it. And if someone does it on the wrong day, everyone kind of freaks out and it moves up the schedule because everyone thinks that someone else knows about some sort of weather coming. And so maybe they need to move their mowing day up a day or two or something like that. So that's like one of the things. Snow blowing, that's also a very big priority around here, which makes sense. There's more of a safety issue for that. But like, there's things that I would just be like, I'll get to that later. That I think I would probably annoy the neighbors. All right. Robert wants to know, Kofuzi, would you say that there's a time that would be a near guaranteed place in a 5K race, like sub 15, 16, 5K, or would it just depend on the competition? I think it would depend on the competition because like when you're talking about a 5K, it could be everything from like a fun run, like a run walk kind of event where there might be strollers and dogs and people on roller skates, that kind of thing, where there might be bibs, but not necessarily chips on those bibs. That, who knows? I've done fun runs before where like the 5K was like 2.7 miles, so like substantially short. So, you know, it could be anything for that kind of event. But then for placing in a race, it really is going to depend on the competition. So, you know, I'd say though, in the Chicago area, people that are running like in the 16s are going to do really well. That's a very fast time to run a 5K. Unless it's some sort of other like very competitive event where it's some sort of like USATF type of event. So, I mean, a lot of courses are USATF certified, but not all of them are USATF events. So like there's like that kind of thing. So those events will draw more competition. There's certain ones in the Chicago area that draw more competition. For example, and this is a 10K, but the Big Ten is the big football comp. Well, I guess everything sports conference for collegiate sports there. And a lot of people, a lot of young professionals, most likely in the Chicago, Atlanta area, came from a Big Ten school, maybe a Big 12 school. But there's an annual Big 10K event that's run, and that draws a lot of competition. A lot of teams will come in. A lot of like post-collegiate runners will compete in that, and that one's going to make that time super fast. So it just kind of depends on the race. But like if you're running in the 15s and 16s, I mean, you're going to be doing well pretty much no matter what event you're showing up to, unless it's like, you know, something crazy like a trial of miles, something where, you know, people are trying to, you know, get their OTQs and that kind of thing. I mean, I haven't done an exhaustive search over like what good finishing times are, but, you know, I think that when people are under 19, you know, then like, depending on the race, you might win, or you might be in like 30th, you know, but like once you're getting to like 16, that's super fast. That's a super fast time. All right. Sorry, that was a really long, rambly answer. All right. Where did that go? Martha said something here. Oh, Martha says, "Hey, everyone, can't stay, but just did my first 12+ long run at elevation. We'll post later on Strava. Friends coming to lunch in 50 minutes, so have to get ready. Experiencing FOMO to leave." All right. Well, that's awesome. That's a long run at elevation. And then where was something else I saw? And it says, "Martha, do your visitors not know it's live stream time?" That's so funny. Very cool. Winnie Hoa is also a first-time listener today. Welcome, Winnie. Says, "Yo, Kapuzzi, first time joining the live stream." Well, welcome to you as well. Hopefully you're having a good day. Let us know where you're listening from if you want to share that information. Glad to have you here. All right. Kurt Rierson wants to know, how is the steeple training going? Good luck on the upcoming race. I think it's going okay. You know, I don't have access to a water pit, so that'll be interesting. The first time I've never touched a barrier before, so I don't know how like slippery or how like really even wide. I guess I could look it up. How like wide the landing portion would be that you're standing on to jump off for the water pit. So that's intimidating for me. But I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just 3,000, you know, air quotes, just 3,000 meters. So I can find a way to struggle through that if all goes, you know, sideways. But hopefully, you know, it'll just be me bumbling through it and having fun the entire time. That's kind of my goal for it. Main goal, don't get hurt. Second goal, have a lot of fun. Third goal, you know, be able to run hard. So that's kind of my, you know, objectives. And as far as getting ready to achieve those objectives, I think I'm in a pretty good place. So I'm feeling excited about it. All right. Let's see. Stevie76 says, "What about the $300 Gakuso next percent?" You know, I like Gakuso stuff sometimes. I always have a strong reaction to it though. I either think it's amazing or I think, I don't know about that. And the Gakuso next percents, I don't love them. There's something about it that just doesn't look right to me. So not something that I'll be picking up, but I could definitely see that other people would absolutely go bonkers for it. So I could see the appeal. Is just not for me. And I think that's where that $300 price point comes in. If you see that and you're like, "Oh, that's amazing," get it. It's worth it to you. But for me, I see it and I'm like, that's a miss for me. So I won't be picking it up. But all right. Let's see. Daniel M says, "About the Nova Blast 1. Did you think it needed to be worn in for a while? It feels like it's flexing my ankle a good bit fresh out of the box." I think that the Nova Blast 1 changed quite a bit in the beginning. It took about 3 runs for me, where in the beginning it was super squishy. And I was like, I don't know if it's the shoe change or if I like got used to the shoe, but after 2 or 3 runs, it didn't seem like it was just crazy ludicrous squishy anymore. And it felt like, okay, this is a good runnable shoe. I like this. So that's something that I felt did change a little bit. And so like that could be a little bit of a break-in period that some people might need. But in terms of flexing the ankle a good bit, you know, a lot of people, I didn't experience it, but a lot of people felt like the heel part was just too floppy. It was too tall and too squishy and unstable. Some people thought it was annoying. Some people thought it was so bad that they would return theirs. So that's something that definitely, I think for some people it improved, but for a lot of people it didn't. So that's something that they changed for version 2. And that video is still uploading. Sorry about that. It's a little bit late, but that video is uploading now, or if it's not, it might be done uploading now. But my Nova Blast 2 video should be going out today. And I do think that they address a lot of that, the excess squishiness. in version 2. But I never had the ankle thing. Right. Stevie76 says the water pit is electrified. Can you imagine? I mean, well, then it's like Tough Mudder, right? So I feel like, you know, Tough Mudder takes a lot of those ideas and just goes like really crazy with it. Because some of their obstacles are electrified. And like, is it Tough Mudder or Spartan? Just one of them doesn't exist anymore, right? I'm not that familiar with that space. Daniel M says, those steeple barriers are pretty wide. I also wear a 9.5, so plenty of room for a 4-foot plant. Okay, that's good. It's good to know. My other concern, though, is that, like, if I have spikes, I feel like that's a very hard barrier. And so, like, stepping on that when people's feet might still be a little bit wet, get water on there, is it going to get real slippery? I'm concerned about that. And that's what has me thinking maybe I should bring a race flat and a spike just in case. But, you know, I think people race in spikes in those. So, I mean, yeah. So a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions as I approach that water pit. And Corey says, Cole will need to build his own steeplechase water pit in the cornfield. That way, when he wipes out, he is hidden away. Yeah, it'll be nice to be able to fall down in private, I guess. Charles Ventura says, I heard cheering sampled in a song, and it sounded exactly like the SL20 word of the day cheer. It had me feeling nostalgic. That's funny. That word of the day cheer is, I took that from Pee-wee's Playhouse word of the day. I used to love watching that show every single week. It was such a weird show. And I was like, I want to live in that house. I mean, you know, in retrospect, maybe you don't want to live in that house, but the fantasy world of Pee-wee's Playhouse, that was an interesting kind of weird place. And he did have sleepovers. I feel like that was like a major theme. That was something that happened a lot on the show. But I did love the word of the day. And I do remember it was on Saturdays. And I remember one week I got in trouble because I was yelling when like someone said the word of the day. I was like, oh, you said bubble gum. And I screamed. And I woke up my parents. And like after that, I had to like go like, ah, whenever I heard the word of the day, because I didn't want to wake up my parents. All right, Winnie Ho is coming in from Edinburgh, right? Did I say it right? I think I said it right. Scotland, and he's a rare sunny day there. Awesome, very cool, very cool. Garrett Meek is heading out. He says, I got to head off to the part-time shoe slanging job. I'll have to catch the rest later. Stay awesome, y'all. All right, well, have a good day, Garrett. Hopefully it's a quick shift for you. Very cool. Very cool that you work at a shoe store. All right. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Vincent also loved Pee-wee. Yeah, it was such a good show. And for a while, my older daughter, got into Pee-wee, and I was like rewatching a lot of episodes. And that was weird because then you observe it and you perceive the show in a very different way. You know, kind of knowing some of the later history about Pee-wee, and then also just kind of like picking up on some of the weird other vibes in terms of the interactions between some of the adults on that show. It was a very strange show. But I think my favorite like realization from rewatching Pee-wee Herman or the Pee-wee's Playhouse is that not only is like John G like really like that there's no way that you could do that John G character today. I mean, if they tried to do a reboot, they would have to like fix that somehow. It's just too racially and culturally insensitive on a lot of levels. But also like the fact that Lawrence Fishburne is Cowboy Curtis is just something I completely just didn't ever connect. And so like looking back at it, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait, that's Cowboy Curtis? Cowboy Curtis is Morpheus? It just blew my mind. And so like, yeah. Oh yeah, Vincent says Jambi. I keep calling it John G, but Jambi. Yeah, I like Jambi, but I don't think you could do that now. But that Cowboy Curtis is a great character. Cowboy Curtis is probably the best character on the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. All right. PG, all right, says, Kobuzi just watched the video on the Nova Blast 2 after 100 miles. Loving the shoes. Cool. So I'm glad that the video finished uploading. And I'm glad you're loving them. It's just such a good shoe. I mean, I guess I can't say enough good things about it. It's just really great. All right. Will Willing, what's going on? Says, I haven't been tuning in much lately. Have you heard from Owen any progress on the stress fracture? Yeah, where is Owen? I haven't heard from Owen yet either. Where is Owen here today? Maybe in the summer. Well, I'm assuming other countries have summer breaks like they do in the US, but I hope he's doing all right. This is a good call, Will. We got to follow up on that. We got to get some info. Okay. Let's see. Rob Shooter says, I just had a scorpion crawl across my chest on the inside of my shirt. Freaked me out. Yeah, it should freak you out. It's a normal response to such a situation. I'm hoping that you're somewhere. I mean, was there a scorpion in your house? Where are you, Rob? Where there's like scorpions? Either you have scorpions that got out, or you live in a place where there are scorpions that can get in your house. Either situation, the scorpion being out seems to be concerning. I hope you're all right. Daniel, with the information that I've been dying to know. For that steeple barrier for the water pit, it has kind of a fabric on top that your spikes can dig into. Okay, that is great to know. Fantastic to know. I'm sure that a little bit more diligent internet research by me could have uncovered that information as well, but I haven't, and I didn't know that. And it was something that was giving me quite a bit of concern. But I'm glad to know that it's not going to be a slippery surface. So with that being said, I feel much better about the steeplechase. I'm pretty excited. Now I'm thinking that I was going to get like a hotel and stay overnight, like the night before, and then check out of the hotel in the morning, and then go to the track and race. But I think I'm just going to get up early in the morning and drive over from here. My mother-in-law was telling me it was like a 3-hour drive to get over there. It's a little bit longer than I was expecting, and much longer than I'd like to do for like right before a track meet. But I mean, I feel like in college, we would get in a van and drive for like 5 hours to go to meets all over the place. And then, some people had to race right away. Some people laid around all day, and because their events weren't until the evening. So I feel like that's not too unreasonable. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And Daniel has this information because he went to Lewis and Clark, and they have pro races there every year. All right, very cool. I appreciate that, Daniel. It's really good to know. And CPA Trader giving us the info on it. Spartan bought Tough Mudder. Okay, because I remember there were kind of two companies in the marketplace for these like alternative types of obstacle course races, but I knew one of them didn't exist anymore. So if Spartan bought Tough Mudder, that makes sense. Cool. All right. Does anyone do those events? Something that's kind of interesting to me, but I also feel like it's a very different space than like a regular running event. I mean, because I still feel like, as much as everyone likes, I think a lot of people like to think that triathletes are very different from runners. I don't think that they're that different. But I feel like people, maybe like the Spartan races draw a different crowd, which I feel like I'd be a little bit intimidated by. So I don't know. Has anyone done anyone before? All right. Sarah McKinney says, on improving 5K time, breaking 30 minutes, followed by 25 and sub 20 minutes, is weightlifting and cross training more important than, say, weight management, diet, etc.? I think that when you are, I would say if you're at the 30-minute mark, I would say, getting more consistent. Weight management, not so much from like, I would never tell people to like lose weight to run faster, but I would encourage kind of the other way is to like work on consistency and running, and just run more. The rest will kind of fall into place. Your body will mold itself for what it does. And so, if you're not in kind of like, at your ideal kind of like, I don't want to say race weight, but like at your ideal kind of like body composition, It may be because you're either newer to running or you're coming back from an injury or a period of break. Not to say that 30 minutes runners, are out of shape by any means, but there is a progression where I feel like as you get from 30 to 25 to 20, your body is getting more adapted to running as an activity that you do regularly. To get faster than the 20 minutes, that's where I start feeling like not necessarily like weight management for diet is important, but diet optimization for performance is more important. So you want to fuel the body for the things that you want to get out of it. You want to make sure it has enough energy to do the workouts, and then also the other nutritional components that it needs to rebuild itself or build itself back up after a workout. And I also think that weightlifting is going to be important too, because by the time you're getting to sub 20, for a lot of people, like for me, I feel like I'm turning over my legs about as fast as they need to turn over. I'm just not getting a lot of power out of the legs. And so that's where I feel like either cross training or weightlifting comes important to get more of that kind of explosiveness. So I need more like bang for buck, or like, more spring per stride. I don't know, that kind of is alliterative. So that's where I feel like the weights or cross training, or for what I like is plyometrics. So that's kind of where I think it is. And I think that both are going to be important. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to say more. I'm not sure I could say which one is more important. That's a tough one. I don't think I know enough about the nutritional side to say which one is more important, but they're both going to be important. All right. Let's see. Anyone? All right. Mile62 Running Channel says the new thing is high rocks. I want to try it. It came from Europe. Running ski erg and weight sled plus weighted lunges and a few other items to do. It's an indoors competition. Well, that sounds like a lot like what do people CrossFit? It sounds kind of like CrossFit, right? But the ski erg is interesting. That sounds, yeah. I didn't know that's what high rocks was. I've been hearing that term, so that's interesting. Cool. And then Adam says on the OCD intense obstacle course. OCD session intensity scale. Triathletes tend to be on far opposite ends from trail runners. I could see that. I haven't been to OCRs, but have friends who are, and they were trail and ultra runners first. Okay. I could see kind of those kind of, not, I don't want to say stereotypes, but those kind of like trends. I think I've kind of seen some of that stuff. That makes sense. All right. Oh, looks like my mom's here. Hi, Mom. How are you? Hope you're feeling good today. And Rob Shooter says, I weighed 220 at the end of March. I weigh 176 now. Wow, congratulations. Running was a huge part of it, although I do also diet. The running helps me keep it off, and losing the weight helps with the running. Yeah, I feel like it becomes a very positive cycle in terms of, you want to run for exercise and to get fit. And that also helps to encourage yourself, I feel like, to kind of be more mindful about what you're putting in to get the performance out. And so I feel like that's a good way to kind of like that's the way that those two things I think can be more harmonious. But great job, Rob. Hopefully your fitness journey can continue. Robert wants to know if I've tried the RC Elite 2 or the Rebel 2 yet. Still haven't tried those. I don't see myself getting into those probably until maybe in about a month, maybe like mid-August. It'll be like closer to once I start thinking about Chicago and CIM. So I really hope that I get the RC Elite 2 soon. I need to follow up on that because I thought I was supposed to get it. But if not, I guess I can just go buy it too. But I do really enjoy, I don't know if you guys saw on Ben Johnson's Instagram, he's got the white one, the Tokyo version. It looks great. That's one I think that I would want, because I don't think there's a black one. So there's like a blue one, a pink one, and now a white one. So of those, I think I like the white one. And then the Rebel, I was having a conversation about this with someone the other day. The black one doesn't look great. I'm debating getting the habanero, that like yellowish, orangish one. I think that one looks really good. All right. And Daniel wants to know, any plans to get a haircut soon? I keep thinking about it. I'd like to do it at some point, but I don't have any clear plans. Shannon's here. She says, Co-fam, including Mama Co. Hey, what's going on, Shannon? Good to see you. All right. Adam Fierce, he likes the plyometrics and the dynamic movements, jumping rope, box jumps, and stairs. Yeah, I really do like box jumps, and I do, just like hops, single leg jumps, things like that. I think I like those. I feel like I'd rather do that than weights. I feel like eventually I'm going to have to change my mind on this, but I just don't enjoy going to the gym. I maybe have to get over that at some point to achieve some of my other running goals. But for now, I'm just going to keep finding creative ways to avoid it. And hopefully I never need to go to the gym. But I have a feeling ultimately I'll be there. All right, AZ says, Mohawk Kofuzi, I could see it happening. I've always wanted a Mohawk. So maybe. But like if I did, I'd probably go I don't know if I would go like fully shaved, like shaved bald on the sides, and then the Mohawk like in the middle real tall. I don't know if I could pull that off. I may have missed my opportunity for that. And I said Ben Johnson earlier, and where did it go? Adam Pierce was no Ben Johnson, the Canadian doping sprinter. No, not that Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, 763. He's a runner out of Minnesota, out of Minneapolis. He writes for Believe in the Run, but he has like a regular day job. And I'm a big fan of his Instagram account. He's a big shoe nerd too, and a very fast, very accomplished runner in his own right. All right. But that's the one. Ben Johnson 763 is the link. Yeah, Shannon's surprised that I don't like the black shoe. Yeah, I don't like all black shoes. Not every black shoe is one that I like. Some companies are really good at messing up black shoes. I'd say New Balance, sometimes they can really mess it up, but there's something about the Rebel 2 in black that just doesn't, it's not as interesting. There's something off about it. So I don't know. I might not get the black one. I don't know. We'll see. Santana Angler says, hi from Puerto Rico. Welcome, Santana. Good to see you. And let's see. Daniel just scheduled his first haircut since August. It's all coming off. Ooh, that's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. You know what's going to be weird is I have to readjust like all my hats. I've been slowly, laying them out further and further because there's just more stuff underneath the hat. And so like when I get a haircut, whenever that is, it'll be like, oh, there's a lot less hair under here. So that should be interesting. Brian Keel says, I'm assuming that's Keo. Hopefully I'm not saying that wrong, Brian. He said if you had one to buy, Nova Blast 2 or Invincible, for me, I'd go with the Nova Blast 2. I like that one. And Will says, I have the black Rebel 2 and I ordered the black Nova Blast 2. I like the black Nova Blast 2. I think that I'll probably like the black Rebel 2. I have a feeling like the pictures aren't doing it justice is what I'm thinking. So, yeah. And Sarah Guy McKinney had great question. Which Olympic running events are on your watch list? 400-meter hurdles, definitely on my watch list. Karsten Warholm is a amazing runner to watch. He's just got such crazy energy. His energy is so crazy that I'm like, if he got popped for steroids, I wouldn't be surprised because he's just over the top. But he's just super, super intense. I know nothing about his training, but he's just absolutely amazing to watch. So that's one that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the marathon is probably the other one that I'm just super excited about. And then I like the 200, 400, 800. Those are events that are a lot of fun, I think, to watch as well. Those are. I mean, I'll probably watch all the Olympic running events. Anyone that I can watch, I think will be fun. Of course, like the 5,000 and the 10,000 are going to be interesting. The steeple, I'll be interested in, because by then I don't mean. I think the Olympics start on the day. Maybe they start on the day. I'm trying to think about the calendar. They might start on the day where I do my steeple. So I think I'll be able to call myself a steepler by the time the Olympic steeples go on. So maybe I'll have a special connection to the event then. But yeah, so those are the running events that I'm super interested in, but I'm definitely going to be trying to take in as much of it as I can. All right. Shannon says, Co's More version 3 versus the 108011 was a testament to me maintaining focus. The shoes look the same, basically. Yeah, I mean, I thought that they looked similar, but then when I had them actually next to each other, I was like, oh, these shoes are pretty close. But those two shoes are two black shoes that I think look pretty good. The More version 3 is a hard shoe, I think, to make look good, though, because it's just so big and giant. But overall, like there's a lot of visual similarities. The silhouettes are almost identical. So it was a video where I thought I might need to put labels on the shoes so that people know which one is on the screen when I'm looking at them, because they are, like, unless you have experience with the shoes, it's easy to kind of be like, which one am I looking at now? Yeah. All right. AZ said, I am running in the Rebel 1 at the moment and needed to go an entire size up. Hope they address this issue. Oh, okay. I'll keep an eye out for that. I went with my same size 9. It seemed okay for me, but I'll definitely keep an eye on the sizing. And Rob Shooter says, I bought a Bondi 7 all black for work. The day I bought it, I ran 10 miles. I had to try it out. Great shoe, though. Incredible shoe for work. I bet you it is an incredible shoe for work. And I wonder, like, maybe I should ask next time I have, like, a Hoka rep. A Hoka rep's ear is like, do they sell more Bondis for running or for work? Like the all black, or like the Bondi leather, or the Bondi slip resistant? Like they're like taking all those like work variants together. But I guess like it would be hard to kind of figure out like who's buying it at a running store, like a regular Bondi, but using it for work because they stand all day, or maybe they have a job where maybe they might use it for running, but maybe they're using it at work too. I guess you probably can't figure that out, but maybe they have data on that. I'd love to know, like, is it more popular as a work shoe or as a running shoe? I wouldn't be surprised if it were more popular as a work shoe. And B. Cockton says, wondering if you're going to review the Freedom 4 from Saucony. Maybe. I have a lot of Sauconys at home right now. I got the Triumph 19, the new Speed, Pro, and Shift. So I got to get through. There's a lot of Sauconys to get through there. So I just don't know if I'll get to the Freedom. Although I think I'd rather review the Freedom 4 than the Shift again. I have an idea of how that review is going to go for me. I'm not looking forward to it. But I kind of have to sometimes space out some of my Saucony reviews because they have that hint of stability in the shoes. I don't sense it in the Pro or in the Speed, but I sense it in the Triumph 19, and it's definitely in the Shift. And so that always tends to disagree with me a bit. So I got to space them out a little. I don't think the Freedom 4 has that issue, but I don't know. Well, it's a maybe for me. All right. Santana Angler says, hi, Kapusi, you need to do a video of all the gear we need for 10K, half marathon, marathon, and ultra marathon. That's interesting. I mean, for like the race, or like to prepare for them. Because I feel like there's not that much that's going to be different between like 10K and half marathon, just a couple more gels maybe. But even that's going to be highly preferential. Some people like to take all their nutrition by fluid for the half marathon. Some people want gels. I think for the marathon, then most people are using gels these days. And sometimes people carry salt tablets with them. And then for ultra marathons, it's going to really depend on the course, the time of year. So that's a tougher one to kind of figure out, kind of like what people will need. But it's an interesting idea. I'll have to think about that one a little bit more. All right. We got a super chat from Ray. Ray, thanks so much for the super chat again. I appreciate it. He says, I'm getting into some trail running, but steep downhills scare me. Any tips on maintaining balance? You use your arms a lot. if you're going downhill and it's very steep. So like instead of having like your normal stride, your arms, mine tend to flail out a little bit more as a way to just to, kind of maintain balance. Think about like someone going on like a tightrope. They've either got that long stick or they got their arms out to help aid with some balance. The other thing that I tend to do if it's a steep downhill, if the space and the terrain permits it, is I kind of like try to not make my own mini switchbacks, but I might not take the straight downhill course. So if I can, depending on, and it usually works out well if there's been mountain bikers that are on this trail too, because they tend to do it a lot and they make more grooves that are kind of more undulating. And so I'll kind of like hop back and forth to kind of make the trail a little bit longer. So the same slope, or the same descent, but over a longer distance makes it seem just a little bit less steep. So that's something that I kind of do, is bounce back and forth from side to side of the trail if there's enough room for that. Yeah, I mean, those are kind of like my main strategies for it. And the other thing that I do, which I'm not sure is a great idea, is sometimes I will kind of like hop down the hill a little bit. So it might be like 2 or 3 steps down and then hop to kind of like slow myself down. And then, so it's more of like triplets, like, a couple of paces, bounce to the side, a couple of paces, bounce to the side. And so I'm changing up the rhythm a little bit. So that way, I'm not constantly like with each step, always like hitting brakes, and I'm kind of like trying to flow a little bit more with the downhill. So that's just a couple of things I've been playing around with to try to make the downhills a little bit more manageable. And then sometimes you just slide, I guess, like, like the rocks underneath you, aren't stable enough. So there's that, and that is terrifying for me. All right. Richard Smart says he's a PE teacher and uses the Nova Blast 2 for work and running, different pairs, and it's great for both. I bet it would be. Yeah, I think that'd be really good. And let's see. Daniel M says about running downhill, says hold your arms out wider and shorten the stride. Yeah. All right. And Samuli Hirsi says, run with poles, get more stability to go down, or the poles or whatever sticks. Yeah, okay. I've never used poles, either for going uphill or for going downhill. Never tried either of those. Sarah McKinney says about the Bondis, the all black Bondi is the nurse's choice. Is it? That makes a lot of sense to me. I think they make don't they make an all white leather Bondi? I think that I feel like that, to me, I could see in like a healthcare provider type of setting. There's a shoe. So like where I live in Chicago, there's a lot of people in the area either work downtown or they work at the hospital, which is very close to downtown. And so I see a lot of people, well, back when I commuted, I would see a lot of people in scrubs. And so I was always constantly looking to see like what the people in scrubs had. A very popular option at the time would be like, there's a Nike shoe. It's basically like a very generic shoe. It's got like a black upper, a white swoosh, and like a white just generic midsole. I think it's the Roche, R-O-C-H-E or something like that. That one seemed to be real popular. Nike Frees were real popular amongst the healthcare providers, and the ones that are taking the bus are usually skew a little bit younger. I do see a lot of Adidas Ultra Boosts amongst the people in scrubs, as well as I would see just a lot of Hokas, whether they're Cliftons or sometimes Bondis, but a lot of Cliftons in the healthcare providers that I would see in Chicago. I don't think I saw a lot of black Bondis, but like back when I used to work at a restaurant, I think that would have been a really great one to have, because we had to have all black shoes. The Bondis would have been great for that, I think. All right, Alex Gonzalez says, I can buy the Endorphin Pro for $97 with a promo code and have 2 pairs of Endorphin Speeds. Is this deal too good to pass, or am I fine with keeping the speeds for upcoming 5K races? I feel like for $100, the Endorphin Pro, I think you'll notice a difference substantially for a 5K. But there's also like the Endorphin Speed is still going to be a pretty good shoe for a 5K. And I mean, a 5K is a distance where you can run in a lot of different shoes and still have a really good time. So that's not, I'd say if you want it, that's a great deal. But I wouldn't say that, it behooves you to go get one. So, but the Endorphin Pro is one of my favorite shoes. I just don't love it for marathons. I wonder if I do have the Endorphin Pro 2, and I don't think there are many changes to it, but I'm wondering if maybe it's a marathon contender for me now. Kevin Bickerton says, this Messy Happy latest YouTube video was hacks to save time and try. One was to shave legs. Is this something you would do? No, not right now, because I'm not going for time. I'm basically at this point, I just want to finish. So it's one of those things. I just watched Triathlon Terran put out a video of he has data from like the company that does the timing for a lot of triathlon races for every age. It's just like one of these giant videos. Every age group at a variety of distances: sprint, Olympic, half, and then full Ironman, or 70.3, and then Ironman. And so and the average times for the swim, the run, and the bike and the run. And so the swim, I just want to survive. The bike, I'd like to hit average, and then the run, I'd like to beat the average. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think shaving my leg hairs is going to do it. Make one difference, one or the other. I mean, I'd probably be better off shaving my hair if I wanted to save time. I mean, I guess it'd be under a swim cap, but some of it still kind of sticks out. So, I don't know. I'm not there yet. All right, Brendan Cam's here. What's going on, Brendan? Good to see you. Says, hope you're all doing well. Very cool. And where's another one I saw? Let's see. Follow up. All right. Brendan says, as I'm working on my Nova Blast 2 video, I see Kobuzi 100 mile update video. I have some catching up to do. Well, yeah. You know what, though, in fairness, I don't know when you got yours, but I got mine a while ago. So, because I got them sent to me early. So, I had a head start. So don't worry about it. I always my approach of it is, when there's a shoe that a lot of people are reviewing, either if it's like a big shoe and I got it early and there's like an embargo date on it, I don't care if I'm one of many videos on that date. I actually feel like that in that situation, it helps to be one of many. But, if a shoe's been out for a while, or no one's really getting it early, or none of the videos are dropping early, and it's just kind of like is out, I kind of like to wait till things are a little bit more spaced out, because if everyone does the shoes early in the year, there's a lot of people that buy shoes like halfway through marathon training and are like looking for something new, and a fresh video is usually something that I think that people will click on. So, get it done when you get it done. I wouldn't worry too much about timing. All right, let's do a couple more, and then I got to take some girls to go find some river shells. I got to figure out what that is. NB says, hey, Co, quick question. On the Croc size you reused, do they run big? Did you size up or down if you were between sizes? Thanks. I always size down for flip-flops because I don't know why, but they always seem to be like, I don't know if I just have a low volume foot. Maybe that's why I can fit in a lot of shoes easily. But for slides or even thong sandals, I always have to size down. So that's what I did for these. MK Hartnett says, I'm using the Pro for the 5 mile race this weekend. Feel any shorter, the Speed is a great shoe, so I wouldn't get the Pro just for the 5K. All right, so there you go. That's some advice too for someone else who's kind of thinking some similar distances. And Noah Combs says, what Olympic sports other than track and field are you excited for? I'm not sure. I'll watch a lot of swimming because I do like to watch swimming for the Olympics. It's the only time that I watch swimming. I'll probably end up watching a lot of gymnastics too, and it's the only time I ever watch gymnastics. Other than that, I'll probably watch the rock climbing because that's the new event for Tokyo, right? So I'll probably watch that to check it out. Maybe I can, get my daughter to sit down and watch it too and see if that inspires her at all. Not that I want to push her to be an Olympian, but I just think it's kind of cool that in rock climbing, there's a lot of like some of the gender disparities just aren't there or never really exist. I mean, maybe there are. Maybe I'm just too new to the sport, but it seems like there is like already a well-developed, not well, but like there are, as far as like the social media is concerned, like I see a lot of female rock climbing athletes as well as male rock climbing athletes. So I feel like it could be a cool space for her to get kind of interested in. So those are some of the ones that are like really piquing my interest. But mainly it's the running that I like. Scotty B's here. He says he's late to the show, but better late than never. Glad to have you. And let's see. Let's do one or two more. Jim Rome says you'll watch the triathlon, right? I probably will. Just because, it'll be good to think because the distance will be applicable. I'll have some semblance of like what the times mean for people. I always feel like that's more relatable. And, I know lots of people have made the joke. I always thought it was originally a Bill Murray joke, but Bill Murray doesn't take credit for it, saying that like for all these Olympic events, they need to put like a regular human being, like in the swimming and on the track, and like doing archery, for example, so that way people can understand just how much mastery is involved at the Olympic level. And like me understanding, and I kind of having at least some exposure to all three disciplines now makes the triathlon a lot more interesting for me to watch these days, generally, and especially for the Olympics. And Terry says the track cycling is super exciting. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's happening on the track cycling. It's kind of crazy whenever I watched it. All right. Let's see. Leona is talking to Scotty and says, are you fully recovered from the Tough Mudder? Awesome. We were talking about Tough Mudder and Spartan earlier today. And he says he's for the most part, the elbows and knees are still scratched up, but that's part of the fun. Yeah, those are intense. Those are intense. And all right. And Lena Ginnemark Edsbacher says, hi from Sweden. Hello, Lena. Good to have you here today. Sarah Gunn McKinney says, pole vault is cool. I agree. I'm very excited to see mainly Sandy Cheeks. I only know her like Instagram name. Sometimes I remember her real name. But she's someone that I've been following. She's a Puma athlete now as well. But yeah. So I'm excited to see her vaulting. There's a lot of, I think this could be a year where some records get broken for the pole vault for the men's side. So it could be a very interesting year for pole vault, but it's always kind of like hard to watch pole vault because they never like just, they never just are just going to show pole vault like they would show like a 400 meter. They're going to show it more like a 10,000 meter where they're like, all right, here's the start. That part's interesting. And then we'll cut away to commercial or to a backstory, a pre-prepared piece or to some other event, that kind of thing. All right. Rob Shooter says with the super chat, thanks so much, Rob. Says, have a great day, everyone, and watch out for scorpions. Awesome. Very cool. That's a great place to end it today. I hope you guys do have a great day, just like Rob has suggested there. Tomorrow's video is, I'm not sure. I did a bike and a swim today, so I might talk about that a little bit. We'll see if that video ends up being interesting or not, but that might be the video or it might be kind of a rest day video-wise. But we will definitely have another live stream for Friday, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. So hopefully I'll see you guys again. And in the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.